All right, welcome everyone to the Washington Council for High School College Relations Virtual College Planning Day. Thank you so much for joining us. A few housekeeping items before we get started here. You can use that Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you, which is why it is so important to use that Q&A to communicate with the reps throughout the session. This is just one of two more sessions happening today in the following hour. So feel free to sign up for more sessions to hear from more colleges and universities. And then finally, this presentation is being recorded and will be available in about a week or so at that strivescan.com/WashCouncil website. So without further ado, I am going to pass it over to our first presenter, Garrick, with the University of Washington, Bothell. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Jen. Hi, everybody. Great to check with you this morning. Hope you all are doing fabulously. So as Jen had mentioned, yes, I'm from the University of Washington, Bothell, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about UW Bothell today. I also have one of my colleagues, Markel, in the chat. So if you have any Q&A questions during my presentation, Markel will be there to answer it, and then we'll both be available afterwards too. So excited to chat with you. Welcome. So let's talk a little bit about the University of Washington as a whole conglomeration. So within the University of Washington, there are actually 3 different campuses. So there's UW Bothell, UW Tacoma, and UW Seattle. And a common misconception is that you will have to go to a campus, but you can go wherever you want, and you can go between campuses. It's not exactly like that. So while we are all under the umbrella of University of Washington, we are our own separate institutions. So you do have to apply to each campus separately. You'll get separate decisions from each campus, et cetera, et cetera. But when you graduate, your diploma will say University of Washington. It's not going to say UW Seattle, UW Bothell, UW Tacoma. It's all the same university, just different locations. So I always like to use the adage of depending on what you want to study and how you want to study it, that can really influence which UW campus is the right fit for you. If you've never heard of Bothell, that's the city we're located in. It's about 30 minutes north of Seattle. That's pretty generous. Let's be realistic. Like we're talking maybe like 35, 40 with traffic, but we are a little bit just north of the Seattle area. So our campus is definitely quieter, more suburban, definitely going to be more intimate UW experience. We're a lot smaller in terms of size. So that means smaller class sizes, a student-focused campus, which is awesome. And the last piece here, we have excellent faculty in the sense that they're just that. We have faculty teaching our classes. We don't have any teaching assistants or any graduate assistants teaching our classes. You're working with the professionals in the field to gain the most valuable experience, which is awesome. So here's a quick snapshot of UW. As I mentioned, we are a smaller institution, so it's about 6,000 students in comparison to UW Seattle, which has about 45,000 students. And so just because it's bigger doesn't mean it's better, but necessarily because our average class size is really small since we have such a small campus to begin with. So average class size is about 30. And then our resident Washington State tuition is around 11,000. And that's going to be the same across the UW campuses, just for your reference later down the line. So in terms of the first year admission timelines, this is going to apply to when you are a senior in high school. So if you're not currently a senior, this is going to be happening during your senior year. So we are on what's called the coalition application. I don't know if any of you have heard it before, which is okay. It's very similar to the common application in which you can fill out the application once and apply to multiple schools with that one application. So basically saving you time, saving you energy, saving you just, precious college application time. And us and UW Seattle are both on the coalition application. So you can apply to both campuses using the same application. We are trying to make it easy as possible for you all, which is exciting. So November 15th is our early action deadline. So that means if you turn in your application by November 15th, you will receive an admissions decision by the New Year's. That early action is non-binding, so you can still apply other places, go other places, give you early information if you've been admitted or not. And then our regular decision deadline is January 15th. So you do need to get all your application materials in by January 15th to receive full consideration. And then our financial aid deadline is also January 15th. We're trying to make it easy for you again, making those dates and numbers the same. That is going to be your FAFSA or your WASFA. So you'll have to complete that as part of your admissions process. And then May 1st is National Confirmation Day. That is when you decide what college you want to go to. That's going to be the same for all colleges in the US. So that is what we're looking at in terms of the timeline. So my next question I get all the time is, well, what are you looking for? How do I get into the University of Washington, Bothell? Great question. Thanks so much for asking. So the most important thing I like to emphasize is that we do holistic review in our process, which means essentially is that we don't have an automatic admit or automatic deny based on GPA and test scores alone. The reason for that is that this big spectrum of who you are as a student are all factors we use in the admissions process. So cumulative GPA, grade trend, rigor curriculum, such as like AP, IB, Running Start, those are all things that we can see on your transcripts. Those are not necessarily things that we can see outside of the academic piece. The other half of you, your personal statement, your activities, and your additional comment section are all the personal narrative pieces. And with those two combined, that makes up your whole application. So it's definitely an important factor. The reason we have so many different factors is that we're always looking for reasons to admit people. We're never looking for reasons to deny people. So if you can provide us evidence to support your admission, we're going to take it, we're going to utilize it, and hopefully get you to our campus. The last thing I want to emphasize here is that we are optional in terms of our test scores. I think this is a fantastic move for the University of Washington and a lot of different schools in our area. So I hope we continue this trend. For those of you who don't know the context, the SAT and ACT has been under some evaluation in the last many years regarding its biases within the test. So when it comes to SAT and ACT, it was found that the tests advantage students coming from higher income backgrounds, higher privilege identities, as well as other factors, while disproportionately disadvantaging students that didn't have those same opportunities. And so University of Washington responded by evaluating, say, do we need the test scores as part of our review process to determine if students are going to be academically successful? And what they determined is no, that is not going to be important in our process. So even if you are able to take the examination, you do not need to submit your test scores. That is something that the University of Washington Bothell is going to be using in their initial review process at all. So I always encourage you to feel empowered by that. Don't think it's like a secret test where it's like, oh, we're secretly like, it'll be really good if you take it. No. Don't, if you're only applying to test optional schools, I recommend you just don't worry about it at all. So that is me off my pedestal for you. With that being said, we do come across this average down here in the right-hand corner. I don't know my rights, my lefts. Yes, this is my right-hand corner. That is our average, but again, that's the middle 50%. So that means 25% of our students will fall above the scale, 25% of our students will fall below the scale, and 50 will be right in the middle there. And the reason for that big spectrum is our holistic review process. And so I'm sure you'll hear that term thrown around a lot as you're doing your college search process, but it is very important towards your overall college success. And lastly, as I mentioned, we are in the chat for you now, but if you want to chat with us later, because you're so focused on other things you're doing and want to get a hold of us later, our email addresses are here. As I mentioned, we are both in the chat for the rest of the session though, so feel free to pop in your Q&As and we're happy to chat with you then. But for now, I'm gonna pass it over to one of my colleagues from the Cornish College of the Arts, Albert. Albert, it's all you.
Awesome. Let me get the screen shared. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Albert Rubio, and I am one of the admissions counselors here at Cornish College of the Arts. Cornish is the premier visual and performing arts college in the Pacific Northwest. We are located in Seattle, Washington, and we're over 100 years old. We are also one of the only arts colleges in the country where visual and performing artists actually get to study together, which is really unique. This is our founder, Nellie Cornish, or Aunt Nellie, as many of the students used to call her back in the day. And she and the many artists who followed her really believed in education through exposure to all of the arts. And that perspective really led to some of the greatest innovations in the arts during the early 20th century. It shaped much of how we create and appreciate work today. And it also helped to put the Pacific Northwest, and specifically Seattle, on the map as a thriving arts community. And our mission here is to provide students who are aspiring to become practicing artists with an educational program of the highest possible quality in an environment that nurtures creativity and intellectual curiosity while preparing them to contribute to society as artists, citizens, and innovators. And we realize this mission by offering baccalaureate studies in the performing and the visual arts, and by serving as a focal point for public presentation, artistic criticism, participation, and discussion of the arts. Our degrees are really designed to build all of the skills that you would need to navigate the professional landscapes of the 21st century. And we'll be educating you in critical thinking, creative problem solving, collaboration, as well as the generation of new work. We'll be focusing on traditional as well as interdisciplinary and experimental art forms. And our faculty here are actually professional working artists, and they're committed mentors as well. So they maintain thriving careers in their respective fields, maintain all of their industry connections. And this really provides them with all of the knowledge and the skill necessary to train artists of today because they're still making work today. Cornish community is also dedicated to small classes, mentorship, and personalized instruction. So the average class size is about 13, and our faculty to student ratio is 1:7. So as an artist studying at Cornish, you are going to get all of that individualized and personal instruction that's super important to a successful arts education. We are an urban campus located right in the heart of downtown Seattle, and we are immersed within the arts and culture of the city. Seattle is known as one of the world's epicenters for the visual and the performing arts, and this really makes it an ideal city to pursue an artistic education. Seattle houses some of the country's best live music, theater, and dance companies, a popular music scene that has garnered both national as well as international attention. We've got about 20 live theater venues. We also have Pioneer Square, which is known as one of the country's most prominent art gallery districts. Seattle is also home to the Fifth Avenue Theater, Seattle International Film Festival, Seattle Art Museum, and the Upstream and Bumbershoot Music Festivals, just to name a few of the many, many arts organizations that you might be interfacing with while you're studying with us. Essentially, Seattle is a thriving professional community for practicing artists and designers, and Cornish has been at the forefront of the Seattle creative scene for more than 100 years. In terms of our exact location in the city, we are located in the South Lake Union District, and that's where Amazon maintains all of their campus spaces. We're actually right down the street from the Amazon biospheres. And our campus is surrounded by creative agencies, architecture and design firms, many nonprofits, and we're within walking distance from all of the prominent creative spaces for art and culture. You'll find Cornish alumni, faculty, and even current students making lots of bold, innovative work all over town. As a student studying with us, you're also going to have access to a variety of state-of-the-art creative and performance spaces, and these are available for use by all of our majors, regardless of their discipline. Typically, you'll be seeing visual artists making art in individual and shared studios, materials labs, editing and recording suites, and much more. And performance artists are rehearsing, performing, and learning in a wide array of practice spaces, black box studios, historic concert halls, and the iconic Cornish Playhouse and Al Haddif Black Box Studio, which are located in Seattle Center. That's where the Space Needle is, but it's also a complex that houses all of Seattle's major large-scale arts and performance venues. And we are also working on constructing 3 new creative spaces, a brand new sculpture lab, a brand new public-facing gallery, and a brand new theater. Currently, we are training students from 38 states and 18 countries, and many of them are living right here in the Cornish Commons, which is our state-of-the-art 20-story residence hall that we had built with artists in mind. So what does that mean? It means that it features plenty of space and lots of special amenities like private bathrooms, movement studios, practice rooms. There's even an art studio up there. The 20th floor is also reserved just for our residents, and it boasts amazing views in all directions. We offer Bachelor of Fine Arts degrees in the visual arts in all of these options that you see over here. And also we offer BFAs in the performing arts in these options here. And for music students, we offer a Bachelor of Music. And then for transfer students who are applying to Cornish with an associate's degree or equivalent, we offer a Bachelor of Arts option in art, dance, music, theater, technical theater, and film. And that'll allow you to finish your degree in 2 additional years of training. So some great information: in the 2019-2020 academic year, Cornish actually became the first and the only art college in the country to lower its tuition. We lowered it by 20%, and we award over $4 million in scholarships each year to over 95% of our students, with all of our admitted students being automatically considered for those merit-based scholarships that are guaranteed for 4 years. We also partner with the Washington College Grant and the Washington College Bound Scholarship for any of those students that qualify. And if you are interested in applying to Cornish, that application for 2022 opens in September. You can go to apply.cornish.edu/apply, or you can also apply through the Common App as well. And we actually are still taking applications right now for this year on a rolling basis as we have space. Priority consideration is going to be given to students who apply for admission and financial aid by our early action deadline of December 1. And all of those applying for scholarship consideration should be applying by February 15th. After that deadline, we will still take applications and admit students as space is available. And of course, you can learn more at cornish.edu and contact us at admission@cornish.edu. Thanks so much for listening, everyone.
Hello, everyone. All right, let me get this started. Okay, so hi, everyone. My name is Carla Robinant. Let me make sure there we go. Okay, we're good to go. Let me turn on my camera. Awesome. Okay, so hi, everyone. My name is Carla Robinant, and I am the Student Outreach and Retention Coordinator at Yakima Valley College, which is located in Yakima, Washington. And today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about YVC and about what we have to offer, how to apply, all that good stuff. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to use the chat box, or after I am done with the presentation, I'll be happy to answer any questions. All right, so how to get started. So at YVC, our admission process is pretty simple, actually. Our application is fully online. You can find it online. Here is the website for it. If you just go to YVC and then you just type up admission application, it'll pop up. The application literally takes about 10 to 15 minutes to fill out. It's just going to ask you for very general information like your name, your phone number, address, email, just very general information. It's not going to ask you for any transcripts. It's not going to ask for a personal statement or references, none of that stuff. Just a very general admission application. And so it's really quickly to fill out. This application is also the application for the other community colleges here in Washington. So if you guys are looking to apply to any of the other colleges, then that's going to be that one application. You guys just select all the colleges that you want it to go to once you're done. And so the admission application is a $30 fee. A question that I often get is, do we have a fee waiver? And unfortunately at YVC, we don't. So it is a $30 fee, and we ask that you pay that fee as soon as you know that you want to be a student at YVC and that you get your application in. It's really important to pay this fee because we will not process your application or give you a student ID number or even have you in our system until that fee is paid. So just get that done as soon as you want, as soon as you can. The next step is to select a pathway, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about pathways shortly. This is just basically the degree or certificate that you want to pursue. So that's another step that we would like for you to take. And before you register, the last step we ask is that you establish placement for English and for math. And so at YVC, there's a couple different ways that students can establish placement for both English and math. And those are going to be through high school transcripts, SAT scores, ACT scores, or Smart Balance scores. YVC does not require SATs or ACTs. However, they can grant you placement for English and math. And so if you guys, for any reason, don't happen to get any placement through any of those documents, that's totally fine. Then we'll just ask for you to take our in-house placement test. Typically, before the pandemic started, our placement test was done in person, and it was a $20 fee. However, due to the pandemic and because our campus is currently closed, our placement test is fully online and it is completely free. And also, I have heard that it has gotten a lot easier. Now the math portion is a lot easier than it was before. It's not like this huge exam. So it's a lot easier now that it's fully online. And so after you have completed these first steps in applying, then we're going to ask, or even before you get started with that, to apply for financial aid as soon as you can. The application opens early October for students. And so as soon as that opens, we ask that you apply and that you select YVC as one of the schools. Once you become a student at YVC and you have your ID number, you'll get access to a financial aid portal. And through this portal, you'll be able to check your FAFSA application. You'll be able to see there if you're missing any documents, if you're good to go. And then also you'll be able to track the status of your award there. So it's really important that you guys are checking that portal as soon as you have your ID number and all that good stuff, so that you make sure that everything is getting in and you're not missing any documents. And then lastly, we would ask for you guys to come visit us and get an in-person tour. However, our campus is still currently closed to the public, so we are not doing any in-campus tours. However, we do offer a virtual tour now. That's really cool, and I did put the link here. And if you just go to YVC and type in virtual tour, it'll pop right up as well. And so it's really nice if you want to go in there and look at all the buildings and classes. They have a really nice view. All right, so now I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about pathways. And as I said before, this is basically the career or certificate that you guys want to pursue at YVC. Pathways are not set in stone. So if, for example, you start off with a healthcare pathway and then you decide, nope, this is not for me, after a quarter or two, I want to move over to business, then that is totally fine. All you have to do is let your advisor know right away. That way they put you on that correct pathway. That way you're taking all the right classes and all that good stuff. At YVC, we have 7 different pathways. We have arts and humanities, 6. We have healthcare, business, exploratory, social science and education, and STEM. And so these are just some of the programs that we offer. These are not all of them. We have a full list on our website. And all of these programs and degrees can become certificates as well if you're just looking to do something quickly. And so we have quite a few. Exploratory, we recommend for students who are not quite sure what they want to do when they get to college. A lot of students don't know what they want to start off with, and that's totally fine. Just start off with exploratory, take a couple different classes, and then make your decision after a quarter or two. The other thing I want to mention here is that YVC does now offer bachelor degrees. So before, in previous years, we used to be YVCC, so it was Yakima Valley Community College. But as of 2016, we have dropped the community part because we now offer bachelor degrees. And we have 4 bachelor degrees, and those are going to be in teacher education, business, dental hygiene, and IT. And so if you guys are interested in any of those 4 bachelors, you guys can complete them all at YVC without having to transfer and at a fraction of the cost. All right. So what does YVC offer? So we have quite a bit of things going on our campus when it's open, and even without it being open, we still offer a lot of these resources. Throughout the year, we like to offer community service opportunities for our students who want to get involved. We do put on cultural events throughout the year as well. We have over 20 student clubs, and students are more than welcome to start a new club with a couple buddies and an advisor. We have a newly renovated fitness center that was just redone about a year ago, and so we have a bunch of new equipment. Students can go there and work out, and it's really nice in there. We do offer athletics. We have women's soccer, women's volleyball, women's basketball, men's baseball, and men's basketball. So if you guys are interested in athletics, we do offer that. We also offer trio and camp for anybody who's interested in joining those programs. You can learn more on our website. Just type up trio or camp, and then you'll find the application and all the requirements and all that good stuff. We do also offer Running Start for students who want to do college while they're in high school. And we have quite a bit of students actually who are in Running Start from around our high schools. We do also offer dorms on our campus. So a lot of people and students don't know that we have dorms because we are a junior college. A lot of community colleges don't have dorms on their campus, but we do. And if you guys are interested in getting a little dorm tour, we have that on YouTube. Just type up YVC dorms and you'll quickly get that little dorm tour to see what it looks like in there and all that good stuff. We also have disability services for students who have documented disabilities. We're more than happy to make accommodations. And then we also, of course, have our financial aid office for assistance with FAFSA and WAFSA. And of course, on our campus, we also have a couple different tutoring centers. We have a general tutoring center with a bunch of different subjects. And in this tutoring center, you guys can actually become paid tutors. And this can be a job if you guys are interested in doing that. I used to work previously for the tutoring center, and we had quite a few of students who were tutors, and they do get paid above minimum wage. And so it's a really great way to get involved and to have a job on campus. And they're really flexible with you. And then we also have a math tutoring center and a writing tutoring center, computer labs, and of course our college and advisors center for you guys to be able to go in there and ask any questions. So what do most YVC classes look like? So most classes are 5 credits and they meet 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Most classes are 50 minutes long. However, if you guys happen to have like a lab for chemistry, it might be a couple hours long, but it's only going to be about once a week. We have most of our classes are offered in the morning. However, we do offer midday classes. We offer afternoon classes. We offer online classes. And so we have quite a bit of flexibility there. Most of our students are working or they have families. And so we like to give them flexibility in the classes that they're able to take. One thing that I do want to mention is that YVC has really small classes. So our student to faculty ratio is only 17:1. And I believe our largest class is only about 35 to 40 students. So if you're looking for a small class and to get a lot of one-on-one time with your professors, then this is going to be the place that you're going to want to start. We also do not have TAs or grad assistants or anything like that who are teaching classes or grading. And so it's all going to be your professors. And so you do get a lot of one-on-one time and the classes are really small. And so a lot of students like that, they feel comfortable. Right now, our campus is currently closed due to COVID. We will remain closed for the summer. Our president has also announced that we will be closed for the fall. However, we're not still sure for further going on. We hope that we're open soon. And who knows, maybe she might change her mind for fall. So our main location is in Yakima, as I stated earlier. That is where we have our dorms and our big campus. And then we also have a smaller campus in Grandview, Washington, and we have learning centers in Toppenish, Ellensburg, and Sunnyside. So we do have more than one campus. And then that's basically the end of my presentation. I hope you guys got a lot of good information. I was happy to be here. Thank you for having me, guys. And here's my contact information for anybody who wants to reach out to me further. Thank you. And I do see a chat. Let's see. Well, that might have just been a link from the other person. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Feel free to submit your information in the chat. I'm actually going to have everyone else come back on camera. Everyone shared such great information about your campuses and how to become a part of the campus community. But I also want you to share with the audience, what advice would you give someone generally going through the college search process? So Garrick, if you would kick us off with this question.
Yeah, of course. This is a wonderful question. So as you saw, there was 3 presentations here of 3 fantastic colleges. They're all very different, but they're all unique in their own right. So you as the student now have the choice to determine what you want out of the college search process, because all 3 of these colleges are great choices, but they're not going to be the best choice for every single person in this room or every single person in the college search process. So my first recommendation is to make a list of must-haves and things you can go without. And having that list when you go to these college tours, go to these information sessions, chatting with the advisors, and say, do you have X, Y, and Z? And checking those off as you go will help you figure out the right fit in terms of what you want to go to. So yeah, we would love to have a UW Bothell, but I would also be remiss if you wanted to study theater here. I'd be like, we don't have a theater program. You should check out Cornish or other colleges out there. So just make sure you're doing the right thing for you in terms of what you want out of a college experience.
Albert? Oh, I think we lost your audio.
Are we back?
We're back.
Yeah, I've got a little mute button here and I guess I accidentally pushed it. I guess definitely agree with Garrick on everything he said. I always tell students to open as many doors as possible. Don't shut doors before you give it a chance. Especially like if you're like, oh, I don't know if I can afford all these applications. I mean, ask if a school has a fee waiver, an application fee waiver. Cornish does. We'd love to see everyone submit an audition or portfolio. Also, if like we're an art school, so we require an audition and portfolio, and that can be a little scary. But ask the school if they help you with that kind of stuff. We do portfolio coaching. I work with students on audition coaching. That's a service that we give because we know that some students have lots of opportunity in high school and some don't, and they've just got talent. So just ask for what you need and see if the school is able to give it to you, and don't close any doors before you've had the chance to open them.
Yeah, along with all that great advice, I would definitely say don't be afraid to do your research. Go into make a list of all the colleges that you're thinking of applying, go into their website, look at their requirements, look at their programs, look at what things are offering, and make sure that you're asking questions. The college reps that are available to you guys are more than happy to answer your questions. Ask them for advice on personal statements, for advice with scholarships, with financial aid applications. We're really here for you guys to make your process easier. So don't be afraid to reach out. That's the main thing. I know a lot of students, are hesitant to reach out. They're nervous or they don't want to bother somebody, but we're definitely here for you guys. We want to make sure that you guys get to college, that it is easy a process, that it's an enjoyable process. So make sure to reach out to us and ask as many questions.
Awesome. We have time for one more question. So I'd also like to ask each of you, so that the students in the audience can learn a little bit more about what they would see, but what would you consider a favorite event or tradition that's on your campus? Garrick, if you have an answer, I'll kick it off to you first, but if someone wants to go first, that's completely fine too.
No, I'm ready to go first.
Got it.
Due to the coronavirus pandemic, a lot of things are not happening on campus right now, which is unfortunate. But one of my favorite times at UW Bothell is Welcome Week. It happens during the first week of college, and we have a big promenade area, which is the central location where a couple of our buildings are located. And just the promenade from one end to the other end is lined with all these campus clubs, campus resources, and they're all promoting their clubs and things for students to participate in. It's just such a great vibe. It's there's music playing. It is just the moment to be on campus. And so I super love Welcome Week. I think it's a great time for our first year students especially, but also it's a great time just for students to reconnect again and for me to check out what's going on campus too. So I would say Welcome Week at UW Bothell, fabulous experience.
Every day feels like an event at Cornish. There's always performance, music, art all over the place. And there's a lot of beautiful events, but I think one of my favorite ones is the senior showcases in the performing arts and the BFA showcases in the visual arts. So there's gallery openings for the art students and the designers, and then there's seniors doing their thesis projects and presenting to the industry in the performing arts, and it all is happening around the same time. So you just kind of get to see the culmination of 4 years of intensive arts training. And we invite industry professionals, so there's amazing networking opportunities, and Cornish is a whole community of artists, including the admissions counselors. I'm still an actor, director, performer, and so it's just a great time to just meet the local community and launch our students into their careers.
Yeah, at YVC, we have a welcome back day just because our college is smaller, so we don't do a week, but we do have a welcome back day. And we have, so back here in this little courtyard is where we put on a bunch of fun activities. We put up a rock climbing wall, we bring in an electrical bowl, we bring in food vendors and all the organizations that are on our campus. And so all the food and all the drinks are free for the students, of course, non-alcoholic drinks, and all the activities are free for students. And it's a really fun time. We have music, it's an all-day thing, and students can even bring their families. And so it's really welcoming, it's really fun. And I hope we can do that again soon as well.
Don't we all, Carla?
Yeah.
All righty. Well, I want to thank you all, the institutions, for being here and sharing all this great information with the audience. I will share, once you exit out of this webinar, you will be taken to a quick survey. It's only 4 questions, so we'd love to hear your feedback regarding this particular session. And all the colleges that were participating in this first hour are again participating in the second and the third hour as well. So we want you to sign up for more sessions so that you can continue to connect with different colleges and universities across Washington State. And then all of the recordings will be available on the website at strivescan.com/WashCouncil in about a week or so. So thanks so much for being here, and take care, everyone.
Bye, y'all.